What's up, everybody? Hopefully, y'all had a good week. I know I actually got a lot accomplished this week, so it was productive, at least leading into what is going to be a busy weekend. No matter what kind of person, if you're a football fan, XFL, wrestling fan, elimination chamber, racing fan, all of this, there's a lot. So no matter what you like, this is one of those few weekends where everybody actually wins, which is really exciting for me. I enjoy those weekends. And we'll start off, fair warning, Formula E off until next weekend when they'll be racing in Cape Town. And as I told you, Arena Cross is done, even though they're still airing the stuff. We saw Michael Hicks win a fourth championship in a row. So another congratulations to him. Switching teams, switching manufacturers, all that. Same result. I just, want to see what it's going to lead in, the 250s now that he's been running there. He hasn't, looked good at all. But again, completely different ball game between Arena Cross and Supercross. So I just want to see when that's going to happen. But again, another congratulations to him. Well earned, 4 in a row. Special, with the team and manufacturer change. That's really cool. And this weekend, Supercross finally getting to the round 2. This laid into it in Oakland after having to cancel it originally because of all that rain and flooding that they had a few weeks ago there. So glad to see that they're not underwater anymore and everyone can get in there and get the race in. But it'll be at Rink Central Coliseum in Oakland, California. Gate drop is 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, and that is on Peacock. And then the re-air is 1 a.m. Eastern on CNBC. No favors there at all, but they're originally supposed to be off. So every other sport was all scheduled through. So at least they got it on there. And again, I like Peacock. They do good coverage with it. Same thing as NBC, but you can fast forward if you watch it later. So that'll be a good one. I want to see, Jet can continue the run and really see what Eli does, can bounce back. Chase Sexton, Cooper Webber going to keep, doing what they're doing and take the lead. Because I don't know, before, it was 2 races ago, before the red flag, Tomac just didn't look right. He was getting caught and then he drove away after that. And then he just didn't, I don't know, to me, it just didn't look like he was in it. Last weekend. Again, if he's not feeling it, he is smart enough to, not push it and still get good finishes, how he got the championship and all that. But want to see what he's going to do and who's going to continue with, testing him. There's a lot of guys up there, that are more than capable. And I want to see how that works out. That's stuff that, always gets me. I'm always excited about it. Call me crazy. Call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. It's really, really, really good. So make sure you check that out again. Peacock. If you have Peacock, you don't even have to worry about watching it, live. You just watch it the next day. But really good race, and it should be good. Track looks great. I'll share those here in a bit. I'm really excited for that. Which gets us to the main event of the weekend. Again, there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend. A lot of new people and new teams. All kinds of stuff happening in regards to all 3 series. Going to go through them as good as I can here, but a lot of stuff to look at. We did learn a bunch of stuff. I'm still curious as to why they qualified at night and did the duels at night, and then the race is 2:30 in the afternoon, which is going to be nowhere near the same, temperature conditions or any of that because the sun will be beating down. So it'll be an interesting one at least. But Cup Series qualifying, no shocker. Alex Bowman on the pole with teammate Kyle Larson second. It's a 6th straight front row start for Bowman in the Daytona 500. His 3rd pole, and the Hendrick guys just keep dominating. They have for years. They figured out qualifying down there. Does it necessarily help them as we saw in the dual races? Not necessarily. But if you go out there and qualify for 1st and 2nd, it doesn't really matter what you do in the duels. So that's their theory with that. But good to see him do that. It takes a lot to be able to do that, get the thing. And congratulations to him. But the Cup Series blue-green duels last night, 60 laps. Thursday night, if you're not watching this or listening to it on Friday. Duel 1, obviously, Bowman was on pole, but he pulled over and stayed away, did the smart thing. Why chance the car? Because they'll be able to practice and work on it after the fact. And it was set up for qualifying. So handling in a pack was not necessarily with that car. It was good for us. We did the smart thing, moved over. Especially with everything. How much did they put into that car? Just get the hell out of the way and let them wreck each other, do whatever they want to do. But Chandler Smith, Ty Gibbs got hit with speeding penalties on pit road during it. More surprised about Ty doing it just because of the, he ran all those races last year. So, he should be at least used to all of that. And by the way, to Fox, I didn't like them, digitizing, over the dashboard so we couldn't see anything and all that. That just looked terrible, but could have just been me noticing those little things. Looked like garbage, but that sucked. Ty Dillon had issues on pit road with about 4 to go. He didn't look good before that, but it happened, so I might as well mention it. And Joey Logano got the win. So, he looked good. He looked really good. The Fords looked really good together. Like they ran nice and tight. And the line of Chevys just didn't seem as fast as that first group of Fords. Again, the temperature changed, track stuff changed because the temperature changes, so there could have been something there because the Chevys looked better in the second one. But they got that line of Fords up there and they went. So what else is new? Everyone works together. The Fords always have power at the plate tracks. Gibbs is normally up there running good together. We'll see how that works out with all of it, but gonna look good again. The Fords look good. They always do. Then we get to the stupidity of Duel 2. Lots of dumb. Kyle Larson was on pole, and it was way more aggressive. Like I'd say it was at a stupid level of aggressiveness, for being what it was. I mean, they were just all over each other, acting stupid the whole time. And it finally did nip him in the butt there. But first, we did see a caution on lap 7 when Justin Haley's side window got sucked out of the car. And might I add, to everyone listening to this, I think we can all agree that when that caution came up because of that, that was one of those times where it absolutely sucked to be the fastest guy on the crew. Because who they sent back to get that side window out of the backup car. Because I'm almost positive they didn't have one of those laying around on pit road. So it absolutely sucked to be him during that. But got it back in there. That's the important thing. No harm, no foul. Those things, do happen. Windows get sucked out. But it's an easy fix. Put it back in there. But big wreck, lap 42. Rowdy came off the nose of Daniel Suarez. Again, they were just wrecking stupid. They were wrecking the whole entire race the way they were hitting each other, and it finally turned them. But big wreck. We had Kyle Busch, Riley Herbst, Justin Haley, Ryan Preece, Austin Hill, Travis Pastrana, and Daniel Suarez all involved. But I do have to give Rowdy credit because he had the same look on his face, but that was a much calmer Rowdy than I expected after that, just because that car is fast. And he was complimentary to the team, and he's nice during the interview and all that. So we'll see if that continues. Again, first race, but everyone was all over each other the whole entire time. A lot of them seemed to say that. I thought it was hyper stupid. Like it was crazy how much they were going at it in a qualifying race. But after that, good finish. Almirola got another win. Still funny to think that he was, I'm done. And then suddenly they get him for another couple of years, halfway through last year, later than halfway. But go out there and win, qualifying race. Shows what you could do. He almost won the 500 a few years ago. I don't think he's going to have a chance this year just because his luck there in February is not good. But he got the win. Again, it was good to see, the Fords doing their thing. We get to that one. We had Almirola first, Cindric second, Chase Elliott up there in third, and then Keselowski, LaJoy, Larson, Gilliland, Truex, Hamlin, and Preece. So there's more of a mixed bag in the second duel right up front. But if you look at the first one, Logano, then Bell, and then we get Blaney, Busher, McDowell, and Harvick before we get to Bubba in seventh. And then Zane Smith, Harrison Burton. Again, there's a lot of Fords in that one. Does it mean anything? Possibly not. Could they all wreck out? And then it really doesn't mean anything? More than likely, there's a very good chance they seem to like to do that. And again, completely different track conditions during the 500. So, I'm really curious to see how that does everything. But good racing. And again, people in, different teams doing things. Austin Hill trying to get there. Pastrana trying to get in there. Zane Smith's face there. Todd Gilliland in that situation. Jimmy Johnson's back. Kyle's in the 8. Reddick's in the 45. Like, there's a lot of moving parts in this one. Riley Herbst up there doing good. So I'm really excited to see what can happen, when the green flag finally falls for the 500. I think it's going to be something really cool. I could be wrong. I don't think I am on this one, but Zane Smith, he made the Daytona 500, started 17th. Connor Daly starting 34th. Riley Herbst starting 38th. Jimmy Johnson making his return starting 39th. And then Travis Pastrana 40th in a backup car. But he went to the back and and he just sat there and watched people and tried to figure out and learn. And I think that they have him set up good with his backup car, with the equipment that he has. That's going to be a good one. So good to see all those guys make it. Sucks for Chandler Smith to not qualify after the speeding penalty, especially when it's just something little like that that keeps him from getting it, because I like the kid. But there's always next year. There's other series he's running, At least, I mean, I'd be more heartbroken if it's something stupid. Granted, that is something stupid, but at least it's something, that you could have controlled, and it gives you something to improve on. That's the big one out of that for me. And again, we all, if you ever watch it, he's a good kid. He'll have more opportunities. We'll see what happens. But still, good things all around. Then we still got a lot of racing again this weekend. Today's action. I'm really excited to say this next one here. By the way, let me even put it on the screen for those watching. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's what it was. It just feels good to say that again. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series qualifying at 3 p.m. on FS1. Cup Series practice 5 p.m. on FS1. And then the Craftsman Truck Series Next Era Energy 250 is 7:30 on FS1. A lot of FS1, but at least they're covering it all and giving them something with all the sports that are starting back up. Then tomorrow, Cup Series final practice at 11 a.m. on FS1. Then we move on to the Xfinity Series qualifying at 11:30 a.m. on FS1. The Arca Menard Series Brant 200, 1:30 p.m. on FS1. And again, shout out to all of them for, getting all the races to be televised this time, and not like, way later, like a week later on a random Thursday or Friday at like 2:00 on CNBC, or you know what I mean. It's not CNBC, but on a smaller channel at USA Network in the middle of a work day. So I'm glad to see it. They all get there. I think they deserve the opportunity. Now we just have to see what they do with the opportunity. I think they'll be fine, but really excited to watch that one, see what the racing's like. Again, they're either really good or really bad on restrictor plates. But after the way Talladega ended last year, where they cut them short just because, I just want them to be able to, I don't care what the race looks like, just let them get through it and stop shafting them, because they did a lot last year. Go back and watch that in Pocono and you'll understand completely. And then the Xfinity Series beef. It's what's for dinner. See, I can't even say it. Try to sound like the commercial, screwed it up. But that is the beef. It's what's for dinner, 5 p.m. on FS1. And then the big day, everybody, the big one, the granddaddy of them all, the Daytona 500. We have NASCAR Race Day, Daytona 500 edition at 11 a.m. on FS1, and then 1 p.m. on Fox. This is when the coverage switches over to Fox at 1 p.m. And 2023 Daytona 500, 2:30 p.m. on Fox, with the re-air at 11 p.m. on FS1. So set the DVRs, be ready. Watch it twice. And that's what your heart desires. You can watch it twice. I might. No, I think I'm probably just going to go to bed. It's going to be a long weekend for me from doing all this, but make sure you have everything set. Again, if you don't go to Motorsports Auto Racing, whatever it is, find it. Type it in the search. You can hit just, record all new. Going to be a lot of good racing. And even if it's Daytona and that stuff might bore you, once we get to other tracks, you can see the other series and all that stuff, and it'll be set to record, so then you can watch it, which I think, the more exposure and everything, the better for everyone all around. But it's going to be a really good weekend across the board. Again, who's not excited for Daytona? Supercross finally, XFL, so you get to keep seeing football and see what it's going to do with the Rock, even though I thought personally Vince was doing a better job the second time around, then COVID shut it down. But to each their own. And you get wrestling. So busy weekend, a lot to see, a lot to do, a lot to watch and listen. And also, if you're a wrestling fan, don't forget I'll be doing the Wrestling with Jesse Rosinski Elimination Chamber pre-show. It'll be out early tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout for that. If you're a wrestling fan, go over the whole entire thing, because that is also Saturday on Peacock, which is just, maybe I'll have the phone open, the iPad with one and the projector with the other. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but that'll be tomorrow morning, the Wrestling with Jesse Rosinski episode pre-show, and then the post-show will either come early Sunday or on Monday, so be on the lookout for those. If you're a wrestling fan, it helps me out, or at least just go and share it. But that's where I'm going to leave you. Thanks for watching. Thank you for listening. I appreciate all the support is what I should say. Let's get those numbers going, back up again. Share the hell out of it. No matter what you listen to it on, if you're watching on YouTube and Rumble, if you're listening on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, any of those, just share the shit out of it for me. It helps out immensely, and I'd like to see the numbers go in the opposite direction that they are right now. But I appreciate y'all, and deuces. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.